And now let's talk to D.
Hello there. What can I do for you?
And see if he has anything to say about Rogier.
Are you acquainted with a man named Rogier?
Rogier.
You know, the piteous fellow hiding away on the balcony. He was a formidable spellblade in times past. Don't let his easy air deceive you. He was wise beyond his years, stout of heart and clear of mind. No more, though. You see him now, ravaged by thorns, muttering and rambling, like he's half dead already. I can't stomach to watch. Take well the lesson, friend. That's how you end up when seduced by those who live in death. When grace is sullied, it rots people from the inside. Breaks them.
All right, so there you go. A few bits more of information that is given to us. We can actually take that information and come in here and actually speak with Fia.
I am pleased to see you again. Would you like me to hold you once more?
And I do believe all we have to do is let her hold us.
Come closer.
I don't think I have to reset the game world for this, but I might have to, so we may have to actually do this again. Come here. Get your head on my bosom. Okay.
You are so very warm.
So are you. Baldekin's blessing. And then there you see, we have a couple of things that come up with her. Do you know?
My dear, have you ever heard of Black Knife Prince? Dear Rogier likes to talk of them when abed. And the ancient plot, in which the first of the demigods was slain. The black knives wielded by the assassins who committed the act, along with the impressions they made, somehow hide the truth of the conspiracy. These grand affairs are hardly my forte, but dear Rogier began to weep as he spoke.
All right, about the black knife, or about the black knife print.
In truth, I've heard tell from someone else about the black knife prints that fascinate dear Rogier so.
Who would that be? Who would that be? So we get a clue, knife print clue, and this is gonna go into our inventory. We'll check that out once we get out of here.
But it wouldn't be right to give this to him, stuck as he is in the round table hold. Perhaps you could make use of it?
And question mark, you know. You found a simple map. Check your inventory. Check in inventory. Okay. And we're going to have to actually sit down and talk to her again. But she just flat out says it. He can't use it. It's almost like she's manipulating you in a way. Is almost the way it seems. Like he can't make use of it. I'll just give it to you. You might too, right? You might be able to use it, right? Question mark. Like playing, almost like she's playing stupid. But we go into our inventory. Last page. Here it is, a knife print clue. It reads, a simple map given by Fia, a clue to the whereabouts of a black knife print. So we're gonna have to keep an eye out for something along these lines. We got a tower, there's some kind of catacomb, and there is a minor Erdtree is the way it looks on the left-hand side. So we're looking for a catacomb between a tower and a minor Erdtree. All right, let's sit back down and talk to her again. Let her hold us.
I'm pleased to see you again. Would you like me to hold you?
Boy, would I!
More? The blessing is still. Would you like?
I think we can skip that. I think we can skip that.
Now, come.
Yep. Put my head on your bosoms. On the tatas. Get me in there. Make me feel your warmth. Rocket just wants to be held. You know what?
So
everybody needs to be held every once in a while, right? Don't hate me. About the black knife print.
Dear Rogier likes to talk of it.
Just a repeat.
The ancient plot, in which the first of the demigods was slain. The black knives wielded by the assassins who committed the act, along with the impressions they made, somehow hide the truth of the conspiracy.
All right, that's all she's going to give us. She'll keep repeating us. Then, may I ask a favor?
My dear, might I ask something of you? Could you please find the owner of this dagger and return it to them?
A weathered dagger. We'll read that once we get out of here.
A certain person gave it to me as a gift. It's a very precious thing. It must have a special place in the owner's heart. So I would like for the original owner to have it back, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay. About the dagger.
I'd like you to find the owner of the dagger I gave you and return it to them. It's a very precious thing. It must have a special place in the owner's heart.
All right, leave.
Then good day to you, my dear.
All right, and every time that you do go and talk to her, make sure you go into your inventory, and there is a Baldekin's Blessing. You're going to use it because, or not, inventory, Baldekin's Blessing. Essentially, it reduces your health by a small amount. So now she kind of indicates that she kind of just wants you to find who the owner is. So you walk around, you kind of try and figure out where where it actually goes, and the owner of it is actually going to be no one other than D over here.
Did you need something else?
I do need something. Give the weather. Wait, you know what? Before we do that, let's read the weathered dagger. That is a key item. Let's read about it. Right here it is. It says, dagger received from Fia, the deathbed companion. She wishes for it to be returned to its rightful owner. It was once a special weapon of gold and silver intertwined, but it is now worn down and marred by a black gash. So right there's your big clue. Special weapon of gold and silver intertwined. And if you actually look at him, you can see he is gold and silver intertwined. You can actually see he's holding on to like a almost like he's got a Siamese twin sort of deal. Yeah. Yeah, so let's give it to him.
Did you need something else?
Yeah, give the weathered dagger.
Well, what have we here? How did you get your hands on that dagger? Well, that hardly matters. I know very well whose dagger it is. Why don't I return it to them for you? Good work bringing this to me.
All right, and now make sure you study, or if you're gonna get his incantations, you do it now. Spoiler alert. Get them now while you can. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Not saying anything else. Ichi says, I'm doing good. I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3 a lot recently. You know, I've never got past, actually, I got to the village with the goblins in it. That's how far I've made it in that game, but I have 200 hours in it. Let's not talk about it, okay? I so badly want to play that in stream and have you guys literally do all the work for me. Like, I want to have it so, like, there's a Twitch integration with it where you guys pretty much, you guys decide everything. I want to do that. I want to play Baldur's Gate 3 so bad for you. Hey, I can't talk about, I can't talk about talking too long, LOL, or taking too, dude. I'm insane with that. I have 200 hours in it, and I never made it past the Goblin Village. I made so many characters in that game. It's redonkulous. Redonkulous. Arthur says, okay, sell the dagger. Got it. Understood. Understood. Selling the dagger. Sell it. All right, so let's come over here and sit down. And you see it actually fades to black. Usually when the screen fades to black, it usually means something in the world is changing. So if you stand up, you see that our buddy is no longer here. And if you look around for him, you might see, if we look to our left, that a locked door that was locked way in the back here is now open. And if we walk back here, Fia is standing over the body of D, and D actually has a very familiar effect on him right now. And if you see him, he actually has, it's almost like thorns and roots growing out of him. Boy, where did we just see that at? That would be back at Stormvale Castle. So that indicates if everything that's happening in Stormvale Castle, we now believe has something to do with the Prince of Death and death in general, then he was probably killed by the effect of death, because he now has the roots and stuff growing out of him. There is an item for us to pick up here, and it is D's bell bearing. So technically you didn't have to buy all of his spells. You do get his bell bearing. You can buy him from the Twin Maiden Husk. But we also got his twinned helm, his twinned armor, the twin gauntlets, and the twin greaves. And we can now talk to Fia.
Finally, it is returned to its rightful place. The stolen hallowbrand of the exalted noble. And now, I must bid you goodbye as well, though I ask you deliver this message to the Round Table Hold. I am Fia, deathbed companion, hark Round Table. Disturb not the death of Godwyn, the exalted. We who humbly live in death, live in waiting, to one day welcome our Lord. What right does anyone have to object? Our Lord will rise, the Lord of the many and the meek.
And with that being said, she disappears. So she gives us a message to deliver to the Round Table Hold. And she does it in a way that sounds like a warning. Like, do not disturb us. Do not get in our way. Essentially, she's saying, Godwyn the Golden will rise again. Our Lord will rise again. So, yeah. Of course, Godwyn being the demigod, the first ever murdered demigod. The first demigod to die. And he is, we know now from reading things and from hearing a lot of the lore out in the world that he is found somewhere underneath the Erdtree capital. That's all we know. Somewhere under, he's buried beneath the Erdtree capital. And of course, if we come in here, Fia is now gone. She's outie. We did get that armor set though. Let's actually check out that armor set. It looks really cool, guys. This is probably one of my favorite armor sets in the entire game. The twinned helm depicting entwined twins of gold and silver. So there's a big clue also. Helm depicting entwined twins of gold and silver. So that might lead to you to not only that it's maybe just didn't depict or like it didn't represent, like it didn't just seem like he had a Siamese twin, that maybe there was a twin. It says depicting entwined twins of gold and silver, the two known as D are inseparable twins. They are of two bodies and two minds, but one single soul. Not once do they stand together. Not one word do they speak to one another. Perhaps this armor longs to find its way to the other D. All right, and then let's go to the chest. It is right here. It reads, armor depicting entwined twins of gold and silver. The two known as D reads the same thing. Perhaps the armor wants to find its way back to D. The gloves right here. We are now heavy load, so we can't wear them. Says the exact same thing. And the legs also say the exact same thing. And I love the look of that one. How cool is that? How dope is that one? And it's almost like you're being hugged by like a Siamese twin. It's really, really cool. Yeah. I'll give you the other D. What? Boogie, I don't think you... It's the wrong D. You're not talking about the same D as we are talking about. Forget it. But we are way overweight. Definitely can't wear it. Feels bad, man. Not even close to being able... You know what? If we took off one of the... So we're medium load now. What if we just put on... Nope, we're super heavy. Can we take this off again? Nope, still super heavy. Feels bad, man. Feels bad, man. All right, what if we just put on the Sword of Night and Flame? Hey, that we can do. We can do it with that. Also, we never did read Rogier's Rapier, +8. And this requires 17 dexterity, 8 strength in order to be able to wield. Has a C scaling in dex. Says piercing sword of superior quality, featuring intricate ornamentation. Signature weapon of sorcerer Rogier. High dexterity is required to wield the blade to its full potential, but mastery is a sight to behold, characterized by the flowing style, which excels in successive attacks. And its skill is Glint Blade Phalanx. A skill used by the enchanted knights who serve the Carrion royal family. Form an arch of magic glint blades overhead, which will attack foes automatically. Follow up with an attack with a strong attack to chain this skill into lunging thrust. So we are actually using this right now. We are actually using this right now as a spell. We can have it now as an Ash of War on our weapon, essentially. So that means we could go in here and we could go to memorize spells and actually remove that from there, giving us an extra spell slot, which is nice. The Carrying Greatsword, we really didn't use much, did we? I wasn't really feeling it. Let's do this. Let's take this one and we're gonna go Night Shard. You know what? No, let's go Carrion Slicer. Then go with the Arc. Then the Rock Sling. Let's try Rancor Call. And then the final one will make our buff. Right there. Right there. Arthur Morgan says, I'm going to head out. All right, Arthur, have a good one, buddy. All right. So there's the look. It's pretty dope. I really do like this armor a lot. I wore it, though, in our previous playthrough plenty. And I don't think I'm going to wear it now. We're going to go back to what we were already wearing. We're going to go with the red helmet. Let's stick with the astrologer's robes because they're nice and light. And then let's do the chainmail. That. I don't know why I'm liking it. It just sort of fits the aesthetic. Yeah. All right. Still not done here yet, by the way. If we come back here, you can see that now the doors are closed to the office. He doesn't have anything to say. Let's go and give the bell bearing, Dee's bell bearing. And you can see Novelli Lou has actually made her way here. But first, let's go give Dee's bell bearing to the Twin Maiden Husks. So now a bell bearing shop has been opened up inside of their inventory. And it will just be filled with NPCs bell bearings is essentially what it'll be. All right, so that's all we're doing is dropping that one off. Now let's talk to Nepheli Lou.
You again. I thought you'd receive a summons to the round table. Nepheli Lou, we met at Stormvale.
I remember.
I'm glad to see you here. I have something for you. I found it in Godric's grafting grounds. You defeated him. You should have it. Make good use of it. I don't intend to make a habit of scavenging corpses.
So right away, she kind of, she shows you just how honorable she is right there. Like she's an honorable person. She found this and you're the one that defeated Godric. You should be the one to have it. So it's the Arsenal Shard, or Arsenal Charm. We'll actually check that out in a second.
Ah, yes. I wonder if you've met my foster father. He's in his study. The room Encher's guarding just over there.
Yep.
If you haven't already, I advise you introduce yourself. Father is leader of the Round Table. I'm sure talking to him will be worth your while.
She forgets a big point here. So her foster father is actually Sir Gideon Ofnir, the all-knowing. She leaves out an important part that he's really the self-appointed leader. Nobody appointed him leader of the Round Table. He appointed himself leader of the Round Table just because he's the oldest. Which to me, like, yeah, okay, you might be the oldest or whatever, but to me, that just says that, wow, way to be around for this long and never get anything accomplished in my head. That's what I say to myself when I hear that. Because essentially, as Tarnished, we have a job here within the Lands Between that is to follow the guidance of grace and become the Elden Lord. We've been here for what, a week? And we've already got ourselves, we've killed a shard bearer. What the fuck has Gideon been doing since he's been here?
It's about time I headed off. I'll see you again, warrior, should the fates deign it.
Should the fates deign it. All right, so that's all. You know what? Let's talk to her. Make sure she repeats herself. Talk to her one more time.
It's about time I headed off.
Yep.
I'll see you again.
Just to make sure. And then let's sit down. And you can see it faded to black. That means something in the world has changed. And she has disappeared from here. And I don't think we'll see her again. But if we actually look to the back of the room, those doors that were in the back of the room have now opened. And this is kind of a big deal. If we come in here, we can actually see that there are two giant, almost rotting, hairy fingers that are sitting here. And we keep hearing about the two fingers throughout our entire playthrough so far. We've heard it several times. And this is what is known as a finger maiden. And her name is Enya. New NPC, let's talk to her.
Are you that new Tarnished? You've done well. I am Enya the Finger Reader. I interpret the words of the fingers, envoys to the greater will. Look there. The fingers tremble to welcome you, Shardbearer. Let their wisdom wash over you. Great Elden Ring, root of the Golden Order, anchor of all lands, giver of grace, wellspring of all joy. Until it was shattered, the tragic corruption of the Order has taken its toll. Across the realm, life lies in ruin, fallen to pieces. Foul curses and misery spread, unabating. But the greater will has not abandoned the realm, nor the life that inhabits it.
Remember that.
So it is that the Tarnished are guided by grace, called to act. Brave Tarnished, your great rune is a handsome shard of the Elden Ring. Seek another of its kind to become Elden Lord and restore the Golden Order. Let the words of the fingers guide you.
All right, so to me, the biggest thing to take away from all of that was just spoken is she said that the greater will has not abandoned you. But we were explicitly told at the very beginning of the game that the greater, it explicitly said the greater will had abandoned mankind now. After the Shattering took place and the war between the demigods had started, it said abandoned. I'm trying to think of the exact words that were used, but it's essentially said something along the lines of that they essentially were offended in some way and the greater will abandoned the lands between. But now she's saying, she's speaking for the greater will. So probably the first thing you're wondering is, what the fuck is the greater will? It's an outer god, and an outer god is something that doesn't lay in this plane of existence. It's somewhere else. It's outside of our realm of existence. And in this world, it's kind of like in outer space, you know, like the outer god are gods that are not on this planet. And so you're sort of, they can't directly communicate with us. The outer gods can't. So they need an envoy, somebody to speak for them, and that is the finger readers. So we'll run into finger readers all across throughout the lands in between, and they'll ask us to show us their fingers, and they'll attempt to read our fingers and tell us, kind of give us clues into the future is what they're kind of meant to be doing, I think. But there's already some contradiction happening in saying that, you know, the outer will, or the greater will, has not abandoned us, when it's been explicitly stated that the outer will did abandon us. So there's some contradiction there. So you should already have some questions in your mind on should I trust what's happening here or not. Also, if you look at the two fingers, they aren't exactly a healthy set of two fingers. They're clearly rotting. If there was an outer god, something of all great powerful, creating something called the Golden Order, which to me says that it should be shiny and new, why would its representation here on our plane of existence be rotting? So should automatically be ringing bells in your head that maybe what's happening here doesn't, not everything's on the up and up.
Well, I see. A remembrance of gold has found its way into your possession. Demigods and even the greater of the champions
are hewn by the Erdtree upon their end into remembrances. They are valuable indeed. These remembrances yet house the power of their former masters. And should you wish to wield that same power, well, I will lend you the strength of the fingers. Oh, do not recoil from my offer. The fingers guide us all. And you, Tarnished, you are here to take, are you not?
All right, and then she essentially gives you the ability to receive the power from remembrances. So if you go into this menu, you can see we have the remembrance of the grafted that we got for killing Godric the Grafted. And the things that we can unlock with it are going to be the Axe of Godric or the grafted dragon head. Yes, you can actually get the head that was on his arm. That's pretty amazing. We're not going to get either one of them just yet. We're going to kind of get a hold off on the remembrance weapons for right now. But yeah, you can see requirements and everything and read the descriptions in here. Let's actually read about the descriptions. Why not while we're here? It says Axe of Godric. This requires 34 strength, 22 dexterity in order to be able to wield. It has a descaling in both and reads, Great axe wielded by Godric the Grafted. This golden battle axe is emblazoned with the figure of a beast, representing the strength of Godfrey, the first Elden Lord and patriarch of the golden lineage. So anytime that you do see a beast, usually in the form of a lion, it is meant as respect towards Godfrey, the first Elden Lord. Anybody that wields anything like a banner that has a lion on it, or anything that has to do with a lion is meant as respect, and it's meant to show respect to Godfrey, the first Elden Lord. It says, I command thee kneel, for I am Lord of all that is golden. And it has a unique skill called I command thee kneel. Repeatedly smash the axe of Godric into the ground, unleashing 2 earth-shaking shockwaves. Follow up with an additional input to produce a 3rd shockwave. So it's essentially that move that he did where he was smashing into the ground and you've seen it go out further and further, and in the end it just sort of shot up in the air. Pretty badass. And then the other one is the Grafted Dragon. It requires 20 strength, 14 dexterity, and 16 faith in order to be able to wield. It has a descaling in all 3 of those. It does do fire damage, obviously. And it says the embodiment of power that will remain in the dragon's head that was grafted to Godric's left arm. The wielder's arm will take the form of a small dragon, sprouting sharp dragon fangs at the fist. This weapon cannot be two-handed, and it is a unique skill called Bear Witness. It says, granted the small dragon a fleeting glimpse of life and thrust it skyward, spewing flames over the wide frontward area. So the attack where you saw him, essentially he would send it skyward and it would shoot flames out and they would land on the ground. I got hit by it. That's the only hit we took. That's that skill right there. I almost want to get these just to have them, you know? Does that make sense? I almost want to get them just to have them, just to try them out. We can't wield this one. We can't wield this one either. And we can't two-hand it, so we can't make up that strength. I guess let's wait until we can actually wield them, then we'll come back and buy them. Someone remind me at some point to come back. And also we can ask her about great runes.
Ah, great runes are the stuff of demigods, the children of the goddess Queen Marika, she who is vessel of the Elden Ring. Tainted by the strength of their runes, her children warred, but none could become Elden Lord. And so grace was extended to your kind, the Tarnished. Listen, the fingers speak.
The greater will has long renounced the demigods. Tarnished, show no mercy. Have their heads. Take all they have left.
Indeed. But remember one thing. The demigods are each and all the direct offspring of Queen Marika. Godric the Grafted was but a distant relation.
And there you go.
The runt of the litter. His divine blood sorely diluted.
So somebody had said it before that I forget who it was, but was it you, Ishii, that said you liked fighting Margit much more? Somebody had said that, and that the fight with Godric was actually kind of easy. And there you go. That's basically exactly what I said. Like, he's such a diluted demigod that he almost doesn't even warrant being called a demigod. He's so far diluted that it's almost disrespectful that he considers himself a demigod.